We're gonna get a good pineapple flavor, or we're gonna get oh, so many energy drinks, so much caffeine going through me. Sometimes the words dissolve, they all blend together. What was I even saying? I was gonna say, hey everyone, Caffeine Man here, and I have 5 flavors of 5-hour energy for you coming right up. Hello again everyone, thank you so much for joining me today where I go over everyday energy for everyday people. It is primarily energy drink reviews, but I do the occasional caffeine safety video and caffeinated product. And I post new videos every Tuesday night and one on the weekends. And in today's video, we're going over 5 different flavors of 5-hour energy. If you do want to know the differences between the shots and the regular cans, I did do a review right there. It is on the Tropical Burst. And that can was actually sent to me by Midnight Wild Spirit. He had said, oh hey, you haven't tried these drinks yet. Why not? And I said I couldn't find them in stores near me, so he sent it to me. And then 5-Hour Energy actually saw the review and said, hey, we would love to send you a bunch of our flavors now. So I said, yes, please. So thank you very much to 5-Hour Energy for sending me these 5 flavors in exchange for an honest review. Therefore, all the information that you need to know about these drinks is going to be in that first video that I did. Therefore, all we really need to do in this video is taste out the flavors. Just gonna grab them out of my Caffeine Man fridge. Gotta have your energy drinks cold. Usually always tastes best when they're cold. No one wants a warm energy drink. And if you guys didn't know, I actually have a website, caffeineman1.com, where you can find out a little bit more about me, but most importantly, save money on energy drinks with my coupon codes that I have there. I even have a newsletter to keep you informed on what I went over last week in case you missed anything and what is going to be coming up this week, so you get a little sneak peek at what's going to be coming up. So be sure to head on over to caffeineman1.com to check out my coupon codes and sign up for that newsletter. First flavor up is going to be grape. If you watch my channel, the reason why I'm starting with grape is because I always say there's 2 flavors, orange and grape. They're pretty straightforward, and if you mess up orange and grape, well, you really shouldn't be in the business. And when we look at the Caffeine Man rating chart, you'll see that some companies did mess it up, but a lot of companies have done a good job with it. Like I said, it should be pretty standard. And from what I've heard mixed reviews from other people, whether 5-hour energy drinks are actually really good or not. And even Midnight Wild Spirit said that the tropical flavor was his favorite of the bunch. I believe I scored that like an 8.9. I said if all those other drinks are going to be lower than 8.9, but we all have different flavor preferences. Therefore, I'm so happy that 5-Hour sent me these drinks so I could try them out for myself, give you guys my opinion on all the different flavors. And even though they sent me the drinks, you guys know I always give honest reviews, so 5-Hour's sake, I hope they know I'm going to be honest about these drinks. I hope they've watched my videos to know that I don't pad my scores, although people do think I give high scores in general. But let's go ahead and jump into these flavors. This can has 230 milligrams of caffeine. That's right, 230 in the 16-ounce can. And basically the big difference between these and their shots, which I went over in more detail in the first video, is that these cans have the same amount of caffeine as their extra strength shots. These extra strength shots have 230 milligrams of caffeine. So basically the only difference between these is that these don't taste as good as the drinks. Has the same amount of caffeine, very similar ingredients. Basically, these are the same thing. This is going to get into your system faster and work faster. This is going to go through your system a little bit slower because it takes a little longer to drink an energy drink. So it's all a matter if you're looking for a fast hit or something over time. Clear cutter. Let's taste it out. Alright, so got like a medium to high carbonation. I'm gonna say it's a little bit closer to medium. When I popped open the can, it didn't give you that whoosh sound, and when I did pour it, it was kind of fizzy. And then when I drank it, it definitely had at least a medium carbonation, if not getting closer to high. For your sweetness, you're getting a high amount of sweetness out of here. They're definitely giving you a good amount of sweetness. And for your flavor profile, I'm also gonna say you're getting high on the flavor profile. If we talk about companies doing grape right or doing doing grape wrong. They definitely did it right. They definitely know what they're doing. A big company like 5 Hour Energy, yes, they should be able to get the flavor right. Well, those shots though, I mean, I can't, you guys know about the shots. But these energy drinks, definitely much better flavors. But for that flavor, I usually, when I talk about grapes, talk about either grape soda or more of a grape juice. You're getting a cross between the two. With the amount of sweetness that they're putting in there, I am tasting more towards a grape soda flavor, but I am getting a little bit of that grape juice kind of flavor in there, even though they don't have juice in these drinks. I think it is going a little bit more towards the grape soda feel, and I think they did a good job with the flavor. It is pretty standard grape. They're not going above and beyond with any kind of a special funky kind of grapes, like they're not going white grapes or anything like that. They're not giving you like a candy grape, but they are giving you sort of a sweet soda kind of feel to it. So where's going to be going on the Caffeine Man rating chart? Grape is pretty standard. There are a lot of companies that have done grape. I do think they did a good job with this, and I do think I am going to give this an 8.6. Good score for a good flavor. I'm putting it right up there between the Rip It and the Kickstart. A lot of you guys know those drinks. They are very common at Dollar General and your other dollar type stores. And if you do want to know where to find these, I did ask them where to find it. They actually have a store finder on their website at 5hourenergy.com. You can check that out to get a better idea where they sell 5 Hour Energy. Love places that have a store locator to help make things easier for you. Moving on to the orange. And here is the orange. I'm just noticing it says Orange Sickle. Very interesting there because orange is very different than your orange creamsicle kind of flavor. So they got sickle on there. I'm guessing they're going with more of a creamsicle flavor. And I actually have two separate charts. I have my orange chart for all the orange drinks. And I actually have a creamsicle chart that goes over the orange creams, the berry creams, and all your cream drinks. Because even though it's probably going to taste like orange, creamsicle's in a category all its own. Let's taste it out, see which way they went. Clear color. Get a little sniff, see if we can figure out what it is. Seems a little more creamsicle to me. Let's taste it out. I forgot to mention something on the grape, and that reminded me. On the back end, it's weird. There's this little tang that comes in. There's just this like little bing. And it's and I don't think it's necessarily sour, but it's this little tang that comes in on the back end. I'm not sure what it is, but it's interesting because when it happened on the grape, I was like, oh, this is good. I'm done drinking it. I swallowed, and then all of a sudden, you get this little whoop of a tang is the only way I can explain it. And it's not overly strong, but it's enough to be like hit with something. And a lot of people like to know about like aftertaste and stuff. Sometimes you have bad aftertaste, sometimes you have good aftertaste. So this is gonna have a touch of aftertaste. And if you don't like the aftertaste that you're getting, it does subside after a couple of seconds. If you do like the aftertaste, well then you're gonna wanna drink the drink more so you can get that aftertaste again. And I don't think it's a bad aftertaste, but it's not something lasting that stays with you. It's just a little interesting thing that happens at the end. So let's talk about the drink, Orange Sickle. I'm pretty sure all the stats are gonna be the same. The carbonation does seem to be medium and the sweetness is high. So I'm not gonna talk about those for the next drinks unless it's different. We're gonna jump right into the flavor profile. This also has a high flavor profile, but this is on the low end of high, and it's one of the first orange cream flavors that I've had. Not that there's a ton out there. There's only a few to choose from for the orange creamsicle, but this one is actually going a little bit more creamy. So if you're someone who doesn't like too strong of an orange flavor, or you're someone who thought that some of the drinks were a little bit too balanced with the amount of orange and cream, and you really wanted to get more cream, you found your drink with 5 Hour Energy, you are getting more of a creamy kind of flavor, and the orange is sort of a secondary flavor. So I would say you're probably getting like a 65 to 70% creamy kind of flavor from it, a vanilla kind of flavor, with a 30 to 35% orange flavor. So the orange is considerably lighter in it. So when we go ahead and take a look at the Caffeine Man rating chart, you're gonna see there's a decent amount of creamsicles up there that have hit the 9 category. And even though this is a good creamsicle flavor and it's giving you more cream, I think it is more common to get more orange than creamsicle out of the flavor. I know I would have probably preferred a little bit more orange out of it. I'm gonna give this an 8.7. Another good job to 5 Hour Energy with their flavors. I really think you guys are gonna enjoy these if you can find them in the stores near you. Next up, we're gonna jump into the watermelon. This one should be very interesting because although when I first started my channel there wasn't very many watermelons, now watermelon has blown up. Every single company seems to have a watermelon, and there's lots of different ways that you can go with it. Natural, sweeter, candy, more artificial. And some companies have done a good job, some companies not so good of a job. Oh, let's see how 5 Hour Energy did. Clear color. All right, we have our first miss here. Not a fan of that watermelon flavor. You still do have that high sweetness out of there, but there's something about the watermelon flavor that just, it's not right. It's definitely an artificial flavoring, but it's definitely not going like the way of a candy flavor. And that tang that I mentioned that comes in at the end of the other drinks comes in a little bit too soon for this, and there's something off about it, and I'm trying to figure out what exactly it is. But rather than spend too much time on that, I'm just gonna say it's really, I think they had a miss here. You know, a lot of companies don't get it right for every single drink, and there are so many other watermelon energy drinks out there, a lot of competition, that I don't think that's going to be overly competitive with a lot of the other ones, because there's kind of too much going on there with it being so sweet, being kind of artificial, being kind of watermelony, and then that tang coming in on the back end. So let's just jump right into the Caffeine Man rating chart. Listen, I'm not saying it's a bad flavor. It's not like undrinkable. I'm just saying there's a lot of other options out there. I'm actually going to give this a 7.3, which, you know, is still an average score for an energy drink. There are definitely several drinks that are under that did a really bad job at watermelon, and I think this is kind of average and slightly subpar to a lot of the other watermelons that are out there. Let's move on to the next one. Next one up, we're going for the berry flavor. It's at this point of the review that things do start getting pretty competitive, where things do start getting very critical, because at this point, usually I start off with drinks that I think I'm going to like the least to drinks that I think I'm going to like the most. When it comes to berry, things like blue raz, blueberries, raspberry flavors and stuff like that, it's one of the top genres of energy drinks that I like. I like my peaches, I like my berries, I like my pina coladas. So we got the berry now, and the next one is going to be a pineapple one. So my favorite categories, a lot of competition. Let's see how 5 Hour Energy did with their berry. Haven't spilled yet. Well, today. Spilled in my live stream last night. Let's taste it out. Hoping for better things than that watermelon. Sure, it's gonna be fine though. So jumping right into the flavor profile, I'm going to say this has a high flavor profile. They give me a lot of blue raz flavor. And what I'm starting to notice from these, now that I've had a bunch of them, is that they are tasting kind of like your standard flavorings in energy drinks. And what I mean by that is that when I had the grape, it tasted like your standard grape in a lot of the energy drinks. Nothing overly special, no twist on it or anything like that. With that watermelon, it seemed like it was very generic kind of flavor. And for this blue raz, it reminds me of your common blue raz flavors. It kind of reminds me of, I don't want to say generic necessarily, but when you think blue raz, let's say you're getting a blue raz drink out there, not energy drink, but just a regular blue raz non-carbonated drink. You drink that, it tastes like blue raz. It's not bad, it's pretty good, quenches your thirst, but it's your standard blue raz. That's what I'm getting out of these drinks. And by doing that, well, guess what? You're getting something that, you know, it's not bad. It's pretty much what everyone kind of likes, but you're not going above and beyond. You're giving us a lot of the same thing that you can get out there. And even though that this is a good flavor, I am going to put it on the Caffeine Man rating chart at an 8.8. Did a good job. 8.8, probably one of the higher scores I've given this besides the tropical. An 8.8 is a solid score, but there's gonna be a lot of other blue raz options out there that are gonna be better. But just know that if you're in the store, you see these, you might want to pick them up for yourself, and they might be good for you. But if anything, the best way that I can compare these two is sort of how I felt about the Kickstart drinks and the Rip Its. They are good companies that did a good job with their flavors. If you like your standard grapes, your standard blue razes and stuff, that's what 5 Hour is going going to give you. Let's jump into that last one. Last one up is going to be Pineapple Splash. My first video I did tropical. I was a fan of it. I like tropicals and stuff, and it wasn't overly pineapple strong. Their tropical had a mix of different tropicals in it. This one is calling itself Pineapple Splash, so it should give you a little bit of a tropical feel, but it should definitely be dominant in pineapple. I am a fan of pineapple. Let's taste it out. Didn't want to risk it. It's the last one. Can't afford spilling. Got to be safe. All right, we're gonna get a good pineapple flavor, or we're gonna get oh, so many energy drinks, so much caffeine going through me. Sometimes the words just all blend together. What was I even saying? I was gonna say, is it gonna be a strong pineapple flavor, or is it gonna be one of your little standard generic pineapple flavors? Well, let's taste it out. Your flavor profile, they're giving you a lot of flavor out of here. It's a high flavor profile. I'd have to say that for all these drinks, they've been consistent with the high flavor profile, but part of the reason why it's high is because of the high sweetness that they're putting in here. A lot of these drinks are very, very sweet, and the flavoring is also very high on these. But like I said, the flavoring seems to be kind of standard for it. You're getting a standard pineapple flavor out of here, and for that splash, they're putting a splash of coconut in there, and they're actually giving you a decent amount of that generic coconut flavoring, similar to the Orangesicle that they had. They give you a lot of that creamsicle flavor. In here, they're giving you a lot of that coconut cream flavor on the back end. Is it a premium solid coconut flavor? No, like I said, a lot of the flavors in here tend to be kind of standard. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Caffeine Man rating chart. I'm going to put this up against all the other pina colada kind of flavors, because it's not your straight up pineapple flavor. It's more towards a pina colada. I'm going to give this one an 8.4. I think it's a good pineapple coconut kind of flavor, but once again, doesn't go above and beyond for any kind of a great flavor, but still a good job. So my final thoughts on these is that they all tend to be a bit standard, but 5 Hour Energy, big company, knows what they're doing. They're giving you standard good flavors all around, but I haven't really found anything that stands out that I super love. But most of them are drinks that I would try again, because they did do a good job with them. If you actually exclude the watermelon flavor, all these drinks are actually slightly above average for the scores, so good job to 5 Hour Energy, and thank you again to them for sending me these drinks. I'm really glad I got to try them out and let my viewers know what I think of them. And if those flavors sound like they might be right for you based on my description, definitely feel free to pick them up in the stores if you see them. If you're looking to purchase them online, you can actually find them on the 5 Hour Energy website as well as Amazon. I don't have a coupon code for you, but if you do go to their page, they usually have a pop-up or something like that to save you some money too. If you want to check out my first video on the tropical flavor, you can check that out right there. Like I said, I compare the can to the energy shots as well as discuss the ingredients and a taste test. If you want to know if the 5 Hour Energy shots work, you can check out that video. A lot of great information in that video as well. A lot of people seem to be checking it out and get valuable information out of it. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, have yourselves a great day. Or night.